Jeffrey keeps going through the exact same problem over and over and over again. He gets really lonely because he has no real friends apart from those guys on Discord. He gets almost no attention from girls, and the moment that a girl even looks in his direction, Jeffrey forms an obsession with her. He just can't help but to chase the woman that he's into, and he doesn't realize any other way to navigate his dating life. Could you think of a different way that Jeffrey could go about getting girls? Is there a way that we could get the girls to chase Jeffrey? I think there's a man who could help us with this. Adonis! Adonis does not chase women, he chases progress. Progress to his goals, progress to his mission, progress in his tribe. He has other things in his mind which seems so irresistible to women. He works on his purpose each and every day, every single second, which gives his woman the space to think about him all the time. She's constantly wondering what he's doing instead of the other way around. Take notes, Jeffrey. I had a very stereotypical common experience when I was younger trying to get girls. You know, I'd obsess over this one girl. So there's a girl in my sociology class, and I remember that I sat quite close to her and I had this rock solid crush on her, constantly thinking about her. I'd go home and like cuddle my pillow, and I hadn't ever actually told her how I felt about her. I remember the biggest compliment I'd give her once was like she was spraying some like deodorant or some perfume or something, and I literally said, "Was that smell you?" "Yeah, it smells good." And I was like, oh, beats like fasting, oh my god. I'm literally thinking about this girl every single day, you know, chasing after her in a sense, obsessing over her. And on one fateful day, I'm scrolling down Facebook, so that, you know, this was like 7 years ago when people actually used Facebook, and I see that she got into a relationship with some other guy. Observing the guys that the girls actually get with made me realize that I was going about it in the wrong way. Whilst I was there like chasing, propelling towards the girl, and you know, she was kind of moving away from me, and I was constantly thinking about her, it was so clear to me that the guy who was actually getting her was barely even thinking about her at all. Like every guy who seemed good with girls when I was 17, 18 years old, every single guy had this aura of like not caring that much about her, whereas I was the guy really caring about her, and I never got her. It made me realize at this point, at this young age of 18, that you've probably now started to realize that all of those movies that I watched, that all of that propaganda that teachers and parents and all these people told me that, you know, I should be the guy who's really caring, and I should really care about her and be really nice and ask her about her hobbies and take an interest in her. It made me realize that that advice was garbage, because the guys actually getting the girl on following this advice of like asking about her interests, the guys getting the girl were usually quite selfish, quite narcissistic, very confident, even arrogant. The kind of traits that women told us aren't actually attractive, and yet they were attracted to those guys. So when I followed like the blue pill script to really care after her and, you know, do as much possible, I was chasing someone who was running away from me. Where was she running? Well, she was chasing the guy who was chasing something else. And that's probably what's happened to you so many times. It's probably even happening right now. Just stop chasing her for a second, bro, and just listen to my words. If you really just stop and observe the kind of situation that you're in, you'll realize that you're going towards her while she's going away from you. Now, wouldn't you like it if we could just flip this around? Just think about it. If we could flip this around, you're chasing something else, like your studies, your business, your fitness, your goals, and she's chasing after you. And sure, you might stop for a little second to, you know, spend some time with her, maybe just but you know, generally it's like this instead of like this. We'd prefer that, wouldn't we? Well, the way to get there is kind of difficult because you have to give up these old conditioned beliefs inside of you. You see, as a recovering like blue pill nice guy, what I'm about to say your brain will disagree with, because everything that you've believed and listened to about attracting girls is going to disagree with what I'm about to say. But you are here today because you haven't had the results that you wanted. You're here today because you keep getting into this dynamic where you chase the girl and she doesn't chase you. So every belief that you have in your mind has clearly not helped you anyway. So let's change that. This is how to make a girl chase you. Step 1, you have to be attractive in many different areas. I'm talking physically attractive, go watch my looks maxing guide. I'm talking about having attractive energy where you can flirt with a girl without feeling awkward. And you get that through practice by being around more girls and just trying to like shoot your shot, but in a sexy way instead of more of a desperate way that so many guys struggle with. You don't want to ever come across as needy. Like being needy is like the ugliest thing that you can do as a guy. And so many guys are needy because, well, they need love in their lives. So how do you destroy the most ugly part of you that causes you to chase after women, which is neediness? How do we destroy that? Because if you can stop being needy for girls, they will start to need you. They will start to chase you. And how do you destroy neediness? Well, there's 2 ways. Either 1, you actually get an abundance of women actually being into you, which can take a long time. So that's something that we hopefully want to get to. But 2, we can fake it. We can reprogram our mind to stop being needy and almost in a silly way, make ourselves believe that we have so many women into us that we no longer need to be needy for one woman. Now, I did this age 18, 19. 18. And that changed my life forever. I went from being the guy who barely ever got the girl. I kissed one girl when I was age 17. Like 17 was my first ever kiss. From that to the D-Gen player days that I had in university, the kind of experiences I had that other guys wouldn't even believe. How do I go so quickly from this? You know, it'd be so nice if I answered this question with some like practical things that you could do, like, oh yeah, go to the gym and do this, and those things are nice, but guess what? What I did to truly change it all was purely psychological. I saw myself as a different person. You see, all of my life, I saw myself as this kind of guy who was like so desperate to get girls, really wanted to get girls, obsessing over girls, cuddling on my pillow, thinking about them. I saw myself as the kind of guy the girls left on red because that's what was happening. When I changed it all for myself, as cringe as this sounds, I started to see myself more like Adonis, the alpha male, the perfect guy. In a delusionary way, I brainwashed myself to make myself believe that I was like Adonis when I was 18, 19 years old. And that's when I cracked the code of attracting women and things actually started to work for me. Not only did I progress from having my first kiss, but to actually getting my first ever girlfriend at age 19. After that relationship ended, I had an abundance of women around me. And whether or not that's like degenerate and stuff, 100% it was a D-Gen stuff, but I got to live a life that I actually genuinely wanted at the time. I was quite young, I was like 19 years old. And it all came from the psychological identity that I implanted into my brain, which is as simple as literally just sit down and just say, I am Adonis. Women want to get with me. Women love spending time with me. I'm so attractive. I'm so funny. I'm so flirtatious. I'm like Adonis. I'm in the alpha male. It sounds silly, but this is what changed it all for me, because this is what ingrained this new personality where I was actually acting like those guys who actually get girls. When a girl would text me, I didn't even care because I'm Adonis. I'm the alpha male. I get loads of girls. The objective truth of the universe was that those things weren't even true. And yet I kind of brainwashed myself to believe in them. And so I started to act in that way. And acting in that way made me attractive to girls. Now 100%, what's really important to mention is that I was already doing a bunch of good things. I was getting more and more experience with girls. I was being more social with guy friends. And the best thing I was doing was that I was building a body in the gym that was actually attractive and made me feel confident. So I was already making some good progress. But by just changing my identity in my brain to start acting like the guy who I actually always saw getting the girls, I started getting the girls. They started chasing me. Like one time, like we all went on a night out and I pulled a girl in front of them. And you know, they're all seeing me kiss her in the middle of the club. And I leave the club with her and they all know what's happened. I didn't have somewhere to go back to, like a home, and she didn't either. Like, you know, my parents were in their home. So we literally just went out at nighttime and like did stuff. My friends saw that and they looked at me differently ever since then. Because they had built this image of me, or everyone had, even including myself, that I was like this, you know, like lonely video gamer who wasn't good with girls. And in the space of a couple of months, that changed to like, I became more of like the Chad. And so making a girl chase you is literally as simple as you just faking your new personality to be like that guy who the girls usually chase. The thing is, you know that guy already. He's in your school, in your workplace, he's one of your friends, you see him on Instagram, and he's always surrounded by girls. Simply act more like him. Now you see, this is like an anti-clickbait video that it's gonna offend a lot of people, because the simple answer I'm telling you is just to copy the guy who's good with girls. And people online in this modern day don't like this answer when I tell them, yeah, just copy someone. Literally just begin to act more like the guy that you want to be. Now, everyone who's ever become successful in any endeavor knows that this is the way to do it. If there's someone who's got the results that you want, imitate them, copy them. But people in this modern day like to feel like they're so unique and like, oh, I'm not gonna copy anyone. I'm just myself. I'm so unique. Okay, well, be unique whilst being lonely if you want. But personally, I didn't want to be like that. I saw the guys who were good with girls and I just thought, okay, screw it. What have I got to lose? I'm just gonna act similar to how this guy would with girls. And it worked. It was that simple. Click and watch this video right now. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.